I need someone to show me my place in all this.
This is the Bunzarelli Show.
All right, this is the Bunzarelli Show. I don't know about you guys, but I just spent the last night watching this trailer. I think I watched it like 5 times in a row. Totally caught off guard by this trailer. Thought we knew it was coming, but definitely a lot of surprise, a lot of mystery behind this movie. Kevin, what'd you think? First impressions?
For the trailer, man, I loved it. It was very awesome. I mean, you said you watched it 5 times. I think I probably watched it like 20 and like 10 more in slow motion just so I could catch everything. I knew eventually a trailer was going to debut. It was about that time of the year. But yeah, I was caught off guard myself, and it blew me away. It looks really good.
It's there's a lot of different stuff. The first thing was like the Kylo coming over when he was walking with those troopers on that snow-like planet. There was kind of like that same. It was reminiscent of that same kind of visual when Anakin was walking with the stormtroopers in Order 66. But the first things I like is that like it's almost like symbolic, but it's also as well as physical, but like him kind of smashing that helmet, Kylo Ren. He's kind of like, because we all kind of got used to him. One of the things about J.J. Abrams was how he said like, they kind of played it safe. And I think what he did was basically made a strong foundation, because now it's like Kylo, like he's smashing the helmet and he's actually spreading his wings. And you almost can't tell who you're following during this story. It's like him and Rey are two sides of the same coin, but it looks like he's kind of breaking out of that Vader shadow because since we've accepted him. But I am really excited to see some Kylo Ren action.
Yeah, I noticed that same exact thing. I mean, anybody that saw the trailer definitely knows it was a really nice job by the director to like pay homage to that. Mm-hmm. And like as soon as I saw like that aerial view, I was like, man, that looks like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, the storm in the temple.
In the march, the march on the Jedi Temple, and I was like, that looks awesome. I'm excited about Kylo Ren. There's a lot of little touches that I caught off from the trailer that like leave you like with some theories of what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But man, I tell you what, I'm excited for some of the other characters. I mean, of course, the main Luke and Rey. Mm-hmm. But man, I tell you what, from the trailer, dude, Finn, Poe, and Phasma, they all look like they have such a bigger role in this movie than they did in the last one. And that scene where Finn and Phasma go at it, I'm super excited to see that.
Yeah, that was like the scene we were almost robbed of in Force Awakens. And like, Phasma just like full up at it. I kind of like Finn taking his own journey, because whether he reunites with Rey or not, I mean, we got another whole movie for that. But I have a curiosity about Phasma. I brought it up before when I was talking about Force Awakens, but what are your thoughts about this? Because, there's the whole kind of Phasma kind of, they could say, oh, she went down a little too easy, but the real thing is like with the whole unblock the shields or we're going to, blow your head off. I don't see how she recovers from that and keeps rank. She apparently does, but I'm really curious, how is she going to face some sort of repercussions from that? Because wouldn't you take that as a failure, like you didn't give your life for the First Order? I don't know. I mean, do you think we're going to explore any of that, or just going to kind of brush it off?
I think people are probably going to be curious, but from my time that I spent at the Star Wars convention this year, mm-hmm. and they had a novel that came out, and I think it's just now hitting the shelf, or it's about to, and it was like a prequel type series for
Phasma.
Captain. Yeah, Phasma. I think it's either a prequel to how she becomes, Captain, or kind of like a spin-off sequel of just her. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to kind of touch on it. It's very possible, but if you look back to the past Star Wars films, you see that, when they're in the face of a certain death, all the people who are in charge usually jump ship.
That's true.
Even
Hux failed.
Yeah, a major, except for a minor few characters.
That's true.
Everybody else is he already took off for his escape pod.
Yeah.
It's just
it's true.
Get back to your station, and everyone dies. So I don't think there's going to be a lot. But from this trailer, it looks like she's going to have a little bit bigger of a role. And I remember them saying that she was going to have the bigger role in this film because everybody was disappointed in having that big bad character and then not have her do anything.
Yeah, I think she basically came to life because of a sketch. Like, I think somebody was just flipping through different, like, artist things, and somebody looked at that and said, like, that is cool. Whatever that is, we're using it. And she is awesome. Like, I just want to see the character develop and, you know, explore some of that. But, yeah, it looks like it's happening. And I like the thing with, because with her and Finn, that is, like, real personal. It's like, that's the bigger failure almost, is the betrayal of Finn. So that is, like, a real personal fight that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, same here.
I got I have a theory that I'm battling about because I'm putting together different parts of the trailer, and you know you just see different scenes, and you're starting to see, like, you know, what did I miss or when does this happen, the timeline and everything. So they're exploring Luke's reluctance to train her because he's obviously bothered by his experience with Kylo Ren. Okay, so the first thing I'm wondering is the whole, like, Luke's hand coming out of the pile. Do you think that's... I'm pretty sure it is, just because of R2 there. Do you think that's a flashback to the same flashback of Force Awakens?
I agree with you. I think this movie is probably because Luke's going to be a predominant character in this movie, as he was only in there for like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in Force Awakens, I think you're going to see a little bit more of him, and I think a lot of it might be like a potential flashback. Like, I think, you know, you're going to see the training with Rey. And I think that's where you might see the flashbacks a little bit, because you do see some of, like, his, and that's what I loved about the trailer, is when you see, like, how, like, powerful Rey is.
I love that look of fear
face that he makes where he's like, I've seen this kind of raw power before.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
And it's his face just, like, sells it so, like, in the fear of, you know, he doesn't want something to happen. I think that's where you're going to see those flashbacks come into play, and you're going to see that, like, what happened at the Jedi Temple, because there are scenes from the first, like, pre-trailer, the teaser that they released, where you do see, like, Phasma and everybody walking through, like, the flames and everything.
That's right, yeah.
So I think you could get a flashback scene to that scene. I would like to see that, just because in turn it shows you a little bit of, like, the Knights of Ren. And it kind of gives you a little bit of, you know, maybe Luke and, you know, Kylo have a fight, and, you know, he gets, like, buried underneath, you know, a house, and then he climbs his way out, and then that's the scene where you see him, like, fall to his knees and he sees everything burning. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait, you know, period, for the movie, but there's a lot of theories, and, you know, I have my own with Kylo Ren.
What's your you tell me yours, I'm gonna tell you mine.
So if you have to watch the trailer, and, like, after watching it for a while, I started to pick up on it. So when you see Kylo, you know, he's the first person you see in the trailer.
Yes.
And you hear Snoke talking about him. But then you get that first facial view of him, and you can see the scar that he has from the fight with Rey.
Yes.
And you can see it's kind of got that, like, robotic, like, you know, it looks like they placed something on his face to, like, cover it, you know, to heal. And as you continue to watch the trailer, you see more of it, as he's flying through his starfighter and stuff.
Very cool starfighter, by the way.
Yeah, I wonder where he got that homage from, because it really looks, it's got the base of Vader's, you know, TIE fighter. But then it has the look of
the prequel
Anakin Skywalker starfighter that he flies. Yeah. I think in, like, Attack of the Clones, you get a really good look of it. I mean, and that's a tense scene right there. You know, if my theory on that goes through, I'm like, you know, people are going to be crying in the theater.
Oh, you think that's it for Leia? Is that that's what I think.
Well, I mean, that's not the theory. I mean, that's part of the theory that I'm going on is, you look at you look at the way it is, and you look at the way he's talking, and you see the picture, you see, like, the video of Leia, and you're like, are they talking to each other in the trailer, like in the movie, or is she saying something to him? Because, you know, she can do the whole Force talk. Do you think they would kill Leia off? Because she's not going to be in the next movie.
I feel like that's the time to do it. like with that setup, I don't see when else you would do it. You know,
I mean, from that scene that you see in the trailer, I mean, it looks like it's going to be a nice space battle.
Yeah.
It looks like that might be the end, just because the way it looks. I'd be wholly surprised, you know, if it goes out another way. But just from the words that he's saying and the way his face looks, and then they even show you the button, like his hand on the trigger, and it's just like it's almost like Han Solo and him. He's like, my fingers on the igniter for the lightsaber, but you don't see me push it.
And it almost looks like that footage of Carrie-Fisher was almost like they kind of put together different retakes of the same shot to build that scene. Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe that footage wasn't
turns her head slightly.
Yeah, like that footage might have been filmed with something else in mind, but it just seems to line up to where it's like, look, here's our chance. Like this is our way to do it without like doing CGI or having to force something. Like maybe it wasn't the original plan, but it might be the plan now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I never heard anything about like reshoots, but you know, it's something they could have, you know, kept quiet. The only thing I ever heard coming out of the movie was that Carrie had finished all of her scenes for the movie.
Yes.
So, you know, maybe if the original plan was to, you know, kill her off early, but I think the original plan was to have her in the movie because I still have the hope that there's a reunite with Luke.
I think that happens. I think that happens in the hangar. I know that was like there's that hangar bay on that Hoth-like planet, on the ice planet. I think now. Let me throw you something at you because I realized some things watching it a bunch of times. Okay, so there's Luke's reluctance. Okay, and I also think that Luke ends up on that planet. So what makes Luke leave? But now here's something else I caught because they show you the scene that refers back to the Kylo thing. But the part where Luke says the line, this isn't going to end the way you think it is, he's actually wet during that scene. And the only scene that he's wet in the movie is when him and Rey come out of that water in the cavern. So I have a really crazy theory. It's really... I think because he says in the first teaser trailer, it's time for the Jedi to end, okay? So what I'm thinking is what brings Luke back out? It's a crazy theory, but it would be a twist and different. That Rey leaves somehow with Chewie, and somehow I think Luke might decide that he needs to go kill both of them and fix what went wrong. Despite whether Rey is good or bad or something, which might explain why Rey is lost at the end. And kind of turns to Kylo, which that scene was freaking awesome. That was like, whoa! That was the best finishing of like any trailer. But it's a weird theory I have because it looks like a somber moment when he's talking to Leia. I don't know. I just kind of piece it together. It looks like there's some conflict between him and Rey. Maybe it's just an argument. But it would be a crazy twist.
Well, I mean, to counter your theory. I watched that scene close because I spoke with somebody else about it. And if you watch the scene, you know, and that's the crazy thing about trailers, you know, the editing floor, you know, they get so creative because they want you to think one thing only to spin it a different way.
True.
And watching that scene, you do see, and this comes before or after. Well, yeah, this comes before. You see him and it looks like he's sitting on the ground. And it looks like it's raining or it's misty, and he's laying there, and he says those words, you know, you're not going to like the way this ends, or this isn't going to work out the way you think it is.
Yeah.
And then right like after that, they show another clip, and then they cut back to that scene, and it's when Rey jumps into the water, and then she comes out of the water, and he's standing there, and it looks like he's wearing the same clothes, the same like black gray cloak. And it looks like it's like misty or rainy. So I don't know if maybe they get into like maybe an argument or like a fight or something like that, because it does look like, you know, Luke is reluctant. I think he sees her true power and I think he kind of like turns it away and doesn't want to help her. And I think Rey in the movie is searching for that, you know, somebody to show her what's going on. And I think that's where that scene at the very end, you know, with Kylo, which is nuts. But like I said, it looks like it's two different scenes because you see her talking, and then you see Kylo, and it looks like he looks like he's standing somewhere where there was a battle or something, because there looks like there's fire in the background.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I would die a happy Star Wars fan if they returned to Mustafar.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd lose my in the theater.
I can't tell if that's for some reason, I feel like the ice planet battle bleeds into the space battle. I just feel like a lot of the same characters, because I keep thinking that Fire and Flames is just whatever that ice base is at night. I don't know. I haven't seen like a third set, but who knows? I mean, I don't know. You know, they haven't shown a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and another thing, this goes back to my theory, is if you watch the beginning of the trailer, you see Kylo Ren with that nasty scar.
Yeah.
But in that last scene where he puts his hand out to Rey, if you pause that scene, the scar is fully healed.
Oh.
So, yeah, you got to really pay attention to it, because that's like the biggest thing with Kylo Ren.
Oh,
you know,
that shows the timeline. He
has that nasty scar where he's flying through space, where he smashes his helmet, where he's doing everything. And then that last scene, you know, the scar is healed.
Yeah, because probably like space stitches or something, but you could gauge the timeline from watching the scar. That's a really good point. Okay, I got to look at it again now.
Yeah, the biggest theory I have right now is that could be the possible end of the movie, and then it just cuts to the black.
Well, there's the Snoke issue.
Well, that could come in the middle of the theater, in the middle of the movie, because if you look at it, I think there was the rumor that the movie was going to end on a cliffhanger to set up the next movie.
Okay.
Kind of like how you set it up to, leave everybody wanting more. I think that's how they want to play it. So that would be a killer ending. But I think that would be a waste to show it in a trailer and then have everybody think that. So that's why I think the timeline is going to be a little, miscue when everyone starts to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But, bringing up Snoke, you finally get your first footage of him in person. He's not a hologram.
Yeah.
And he looks super cool for being, I think, mostly, like prosthetic or CGI.
It's Andy Serkis doing the old, what's the word?
Yeah,
for
I mean, dude, that dude could do anything, and it'd be amazing.
Motion capture, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, mocap. And I'm super excited to see the interactions, because clearly there's a scene where, there's Rey.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly she gets captured because you see the scene where you see his face up close, and then it shoots to Rey, and you see her like she's in like some kind of like forced choke, like I don't know what she's in. She's like shaking.
I like that. That was different.
Yeah, you could see in the background it looks like his cloak, so it looks like he's like holding her up and like doing something to her.
Yeah, it's like a forced paralysis or something.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. A friend of mine, his theory was that Snoke's a Jedi.
Okay.
That's his theory. He thinks that Snoke's just an outright Jedi. Of course, there's the long-running fan theory that Snoke is Jar Jar Binks.
What's up?
And the reason my buddy had said that he thinks he's a Jedi is because if you look really close, and they've released, now you see the trailer, but now there's also been action figures released and pictures, and you can see he doesn't wear clothes that's reminiscent of the dark side. He's wearing gold.
That's true. Yeah. So
it makes you think like what kind of dark side person are you if you're not wearing, the casual black?
But meanwhile, they never refer to themselves. They never mention the word Sith and still don't refer to them as Sith. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that'll eventually come up.
Yeah, they don't even. Yeah, it's not even like Lord or thing. It's just Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be insane to see who he eventually is. And I don't know if you'll find out in this episode.
No.
I think they might, if they're able to give you a little bit of background to tell you like what he is, but they don't tell you who he is until like the next episode.
I know Rian Johnson had said something. I think I read it on Superhero Hype or something, but he had said like it's kind of like the Emperor, where he just serves the point to be the bad guy behind the bad guy, which I really want something more than that, because I don't like just But then somebody else says, the Emperor, it was actually better before you knew too much about him. So I don't know what the right answer is. But I would like to see, but even the stuff that the turns are taken with Kylo are different, because the one big thing I like about this whole thing is it's like it seems like you're following Kylo's journey. That's really interesting. Whether you you're following both ends of the spectrum, and you're following all these separate guys. I mean, like you said, Poe. I'm interested in seeing Poe. Looks like he's stepping up to the plate and taking a leadership role. So all these characters are taking their little roads there, and I think now here's another thing. So we have Rian Johnson, and JJ, like I said, like I've always felt he built a strong foundation, and this is evidence of that, because you gave us these characters, now you set them free, let them spread their wings. So what do you think about? So Colin Trevorrow got booted, and so now it's JJ again. Which I'm psyched too, because I think, like, I like this guy. I like Rian Johnson with the different visuals, because even Empire was like that, a different director and everything. But it's like Rian Johnson is got to get the bases loaded, and then JJ's going to step up the bat and bring it home. So finish what I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it's going to bring the whole thing full circle.
I think big draw from Force Awakens was everybody compared it to New Hope.
Yes.
And like you gave us, our characters, and this, and this happens, and it falls in line with New Hope. Mm-hmm. So now you look at the trailer for this movie, and you look at Empire, and you kind of get like that same feel. Like, is it going to be kind of similar to, or are they going to play off the same story? Mm-hmm. And bits and pieces of it do look like it. Like, of course, it looks like
it's like the AT-ATs and the Snow Planet. Those are the two big things, but they're not even a major part of the movie, it seems. Obviously a major battle, but that's the only real...
To be honest, like the trailer, it gives you a great look at the AT-ATs, and they don't look anything like the original one. Like, they're improved and everything.
Yeah.
So, like, I wouldn't even, say that it's, kind of like a cop-off. I mean, depending on how that battle is, and that looks like it's going to be an interesting battle, the way the speeders are. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see that. They didn't really show any of that in the trailer. You just got, a good look at, their forces marching. But I think it's going to do a lot better. I mean, a lot of fans of Star Wars say Empire is the best movie.
Yeah.
I think this one might give it a run for its money, because if it throws in the twists and turns that I think it's going to do, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea where they're going with this movie. Like this, it looks like they could throw anything at us in this thing.
Yeah, and with JJ doing episode 9. I'm excited for that. I mean, I know he took over. I know he likes Star Wars. I liked Force Awakens. He did a great job.
I did too.
But to be honest with you, if Rian Johnson kills this movie and knocks it out of the park, I'd give him the next episode.
I think
I would.
I think he turned it down, actually. I think that came up.
Maybe he'll come back if they do 10. I can see Star Wars continuing on.
Or give him a Rogue One or something. Give him a solo, you know what I mean? Like a solo. Give him the Obi-Wan movie.
Oh, dude, don't even bring up Obi-Wan movie. No.
That'll be a different show.
It's been discussed. They said it. They're like, I think the next movie it's going to be Obi-Wan, and I'm like, seriously, if Ewan McGregor is not in this movie, nobody's going to like it.
Yeah, they got a director, but not the. They don't got the Obi-Wan signed yet, so.
I mean, it's ridiculous to know that Ewan McGregor is sitting there like, I would love to do an Obi-Wan movie. Just call me.
Yeah, between his readiness, the fans' readiness, it's a no-brainer. So
yeah,
either it's being negotiated or still planned, or they don't, haven't gotten to that far yet. Maybe they might be waiting on a script, but I cannot see them showing us like a third Obi-Wan. You know what I'm saying? Like a new actor. Like, no, I mean, Mel Gibson, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, something.
I couldn't do it. Yeah. I already have to deal with, somebody else playing Han Solo.
Yeah. So here's the big mystery I'm very curious of. The scene where Snoke has Rey in the paralysis. Who do you think, unless it's Rey by herself, I don't see how it's possible, who rescues Rey? Is it Luke? Is it Kylo Ren? Or maybe the coolest thing ever would be Finn. But I don't see how Finn could stand a chance against Snoke.
So the way I pieced the trailer together and the way I think it could go, I think the scene where you see Finn and Plasma fighting is either going to be a climactic scene, because the way that scene opens up, there's like chaos all around them. Like everything's like busted up. They're in the hangar. Their stuff like destroyed. It looks like it could be like in either a beginning scene, like when Kylo's in his starfighter, maybe the Phasma is on one of the ships, or because I know they did say Finn and the new character. I can't remember her name. She's going to be a new character introduced.
Oh.
They kind of go off and she drags Finn into a new adventure. And I think that's where I think he's going to meet back up with Phasma. So I could see that being like a thing, and maybe they're on like, the base where Snoke is, and maybe Finn does end up rescuing her. I could see Luke rescuing her, and I can see
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren, there we go.
Yeah.
Rescuing her, because just the way the trailer goes and the way it sets it up with, her saying, I need help.
Yeah.
But when you look at it and you look at the trailer and, watch it one more time and look at it, when you see that scene where she's like, I'm trying to find my place and I need somebody to help me, do it. The way she's dressed, what she looks like, it doesn't look like she's like been in a battle or anything like that. It doesn't look like
that's true. Yeah.
She's gone through anything. But when you see Kylo, he's kind of the similar manner, but his scar's healed. And then it looks like, there's fire around him or something. So it's going to be interesting to see, the timeline and how it plays out. Hands down, I think it'll be the biggest movie ever. If Force Awakens came close to beating out Avatar for the top movie ever, this movie's going to blow it away. Because I bought tickets last night for, to see it. And I looked at some IMAX theaters because I do want to see it in IMAX, because they give out those like commemorative tickets every weekend. So I want to try and get some of those. But IMAX theaters were already sold out. I mean,
wow.
I saw movie theaters that had Star Wars showing at 4:00 in the morning, because, it's just going to be, it's going to be insane. And it starts showing at 6:00 in the afternoon on Thursday. So it's going to be one of the biggest movies. I mean, I can already tell myself I'm going to see it more than once in the same week.
Oh yeah, me as well. Definitely something to be excited for. This one looks like it's going to break the mold and stuff. So really curious to see what's ahead and what's in store. Hey Kevin, thanks. Great having you back on the show, man. So thanks a lot. Looking forward to December.
I don't think there's anything else in December that I'm more psyched for, other than Christmas, than Star Wars. And Christmas going to come early, about 10 days or something like that. So I'm super excited for December. I wish it was already.
Awesome, Kevin. Thanks for being on the show.
You got it, man.